Hey everyone, welcome to one another video, and this video gonna all about how you can set up a service-based business in India. And this video would take you from start to end of establishing a service-based business. Service-related business simply means that where you provide any services in form of which can be delivered digitally or via phone call or via anything. For example, if you're good at designing website, you can design and develop this website for your internet international client and offer this as a service. You can design and develop this website and offer it as a service for your international client. That becomes a part of your service. Now, how to do the setup? Step by step manner, even if you're 18, above 18, how to do that stuff, I would be talking in this video. Step 1, the most important step is to decide that what services you want to sell. If you're not clear about the services that you want to sell, you will be end up in a loop where you keep on changing your services without getting a lot of clients or without having an expertise. Now, here are the two ways of how I teach people how to go about this. First of all, think about a service that you can deliver by your own. This is for the start. Anything that you already know that you can go and learn from YouTube and try to sell is called a service that you have an expertise in or that you can go ahead and sell. That's the part one. Once you grow big, once you get a couple of clients, then you can outsource people to do the same work because they have the talent, you have the money, you have the clients. So that is where we call about scaling your agency with outsourced people. Okay, you hire people to do a specific job, they do that job and you grow with that money. Okay, so there are two ways. Step one, services that you know and that you can sell. Second is a outsourced service business model. Now I have a lot of videos covering both of it on my YouTube, so maybe you can go and check that out as well. A very important point again that I want to highlight, whenever you are picking up a service that you want to sell, make sure that you be on that path or you be on that trajectory to give that service for at least, like, let's say 30 days or 2 months or 5 months. It's not like you keep on changing your services every single day and you hope in case you'll get the clients. Okay, this is not how things happen typically in the service based industry, because it takes time to create your name in the game and in the market and in the business. So take time, don't hurry the things up, decide what service you want to sell and then go ahead. For example, in my case, I have given out chatbot marketing as my first service for my international client, and search engine marketing, which is Google Ads, for Indian clients. That's the services that I had started giving. The way I got to learn about Google Ads marketing is free courses that are available by Google. So you can just go and Google it out, free digital marketing courses by Google, and you'll get a lot of results with that. So that's point one. Now let's move to point two. Once you have decided that these are the services that I'm going to sell, you have to focus on who needs that service, whom I would deliver that service, who is your ideal client. Okay, so just for an example, in the direct to consumer space, which means where you sell your products to direct consumers on a mass level. For example, Amul is a B2C or a direct to consumer company. You all know about Amul milks, but Infosys is a B2B company. It works with direct businesses. In that case, you should be knowing that who is your ideal target audience. For example, Amul knows that women's are their ideal audience, and that's what they have started with because they make sure that the groceries are there. Also, in case of, let's say, there are products like Amul butter and other thing, restaurant owners are their ideal clients. In that case, similarly, Infosys knows who's their ideal client. If you know about a fact, in around 1999 there was a uh, dot-com bubble crash, which means that a lot of companies were crashing down that lane. Infosys took advantage of this movement and they segregated their help to a lot of companies in banking and other sectors. So you should know who is your ideal client in order to serve your services. For example, if you are an app designer, you cannot be an app designer for everyone when you are starting a service based business. This goes for any type of marketing agencies, any type of development agencies, any type of PR agencies, or anything around those similar lines. The point that I want to highlight is you should be aware who is your ideal client base. And this is what I'm talking for the start. Once you become a big company, you have a lot of employees with different expertise. You can think about anything. But for a start, you should be clearly focused that who is your ideal target audience. For example, Maybe you can design apps for only SaaS companies. SaaS stands for software as a service. Maybe you can just design apps for direct to consumer companies. For example, you can design apps for big basket, for any other website, but you should be knowing who is your target audience. So that's the point two. First one was what services you want to sell. Secondly, what niche you want to sell. Now, if you were not aware of this 2 points and you are not clear with these two things, don't think you'll really get success in service based industry, because the competition here is quite hard. So you should know your ideal target audience. For example, when I thought of scaling my own agency, which is B4 Branding Digital Agency, we had a very clear vision. We would be helping people who have an existing software to start, scale, and take them to at least $100,000 a month in revenue. So that was our ideal target audience, a very streamlined target audience. And we were also clear what was the service we want to be selling. The service that we will be selling to them is helping them with paid media buying, which means running Facebook, Google, or any type of other ads that helps them to acquire customer and take them to the monetary goal of 100K. That is how precise we were when we were planning for my agency, which is B4 Branding Digital Agency. So you should be having a clear vision. Let's move to point number three. You should be aware of the requirements of your customer. That's very simple question. But with that being said, you should also know that how is the process of fulfillment gonna work? What is fulfillment? Fulfillment is once you get the client, how would you deliver the work? Let's say if the client wants you to do maybe social media marketing. So you should have that expertise in social media marketing. You should know how hashtags play a big role, how link in bio plays a big role, how you can attach one link. Like I have a sleek bio link in my profile, and I have all the links opening after you click on my sleek bio profile. So as a marketer, you should be aware of how the fulfillment works. Or as an agency owner, you should know how these things work. For your initial project, you should be having that expertise to do the things that is required with your ideal client. Moving on to the next point, after completing the three very important point, the 80-20 rule. Service based businesses have to focus on this 80-20 rule. Now, what is this 80-20 rule? 80-20 rule stands for 80% of your time as a business owner should be completely focused towards getting more customer. Even before recording this video, I was doing email cold outreach for one of my new project, which is FabHire. If you don't know about FabHire, just check out the link in my bio on Instagram and you'll be able to know. FabHire is a service where we help you learn the skills and place you in different companies outside India, international agencies, and we take a percentage of commission. So I'm that very specific what we do. As being said, the 80% of my time I every single day work upon is growing the business, is getting the customers for my agency, for my other projects, for my courses. While designing the content like this is what I do. So as a business owner, 80% of your time should always be focused towards getting the client, and 20% of your time should always be focused towards getting the customers what they need. Promise what you have promised to them, what you have promised to deliver to them. That's a 80-20 rule. And whenever you do your first hire, it should not be towards getting the customer. Your first hire should not be a business development guy. It should always be a fulfillment guy rather than, because if you have someone to do the fulfillment, to deliver the work, you have now 100% time to focus on getting more clients. This is the 80-20% rule that I always tell agencies. And yes, I have learned this from someone other in the industry who's quite a big name. So I have learned this and I want to pass this, because this one rule of 80-20 has changed my business completely. 80% of my time always focuses towards getting the client. That's the whole rule of this. Point number 5, or the next point, is figure out your outreach model. Now, what is an outreach model? In order to get clients, you should be able to have a plan. You should be having a SOP. XYZ are the steps that I would take in order to get the client. So your steps should be figured out. Now, in my case, I have a very clear model. In order to get clients, I would send out emails to people in my SaaS industry, people who have just launched their software. If they don't respond to emails, I would message them on LinkedIn, or I would message them on Facebook, maybe some Facebook groups or connections like that, and I would connect with them. After creating these connections with the people in my industry who are my target audience, I would tell them that, hey, you have just launched a software. We help softwares to scale. Let's get started and work on a trial plan. If we get the results, let's move to the next step where you can be our paying client. That is what I do. So my outreach process is using email, Facebook, and LinkedIn. In some other cases, I have seen people running Facebook ads to get the leads, closing the leads, and getting on the call with those leads to close them and just work with them to get them as a client. Every single business owner has their own processes to get clients. You might have seen some agencies on Amazon who help Amazon businesses to scale. They have been listed in Amazon's service portal itself. I don't know the exact name, but they have been listed there. So every business has their own processes. They have a way to get clients, and you should be able to figure out what is that exact same way which helps you to get the clients. That is what I call your outreach model, your model to get clients. And it should be drawn on the day one itself. Before even you start prospecting, it should be drawn, it should be laid out in a step by step manner. And that is something, it should be a scalable model, which means even if you don't do that outreach, you should be able to hire people and they could follow the steps. This is what we call as SOP, standard operating procedures. And if you're a part of Agency Growth Secrets or any other similar program of mine, which the link is in the description, to those programs and to those courses. So what are you waiting for? If you want to scale, just check out the link in description. Now, moving to point number 6, the tax, the government, the legalities part. So I would try to break this thing down in a very simple format, and I'll give it in my own life examples. When I started my agency, when I started doing outreach, when I started getting clients, I was not even 18. So I started all these things around 15, 16 of my age. And like, let's say I cracked my first international client when I was around 16. And you might see the video on Rahul Bhatnagar's channel of that part. So it was a big client, and the client asked me to pay $1,000. Now, as a kid, getting paid $1,000 is something like you'll be surprised. Like it's something unbelievable, and I want you to know the feeling, because a majority of you have experienced that feeling. If you have experienced that, let me know in the comments. I love to read feelings like this. Now, I had a big question. So let's say I take the $1,000 on my name via PayPal. Would PayPal gonna allow me? So I went on PayPal, I created an PayPal account, and when I put my age, it said minimum age required is 18. And I went into a shock. How can I become 18 just to get a PayPal account? And then I decided my strategy. My strategy is simple. Till when you're not 18, use your parents. Use your parents to create your PayPal account, to create your Stripe account, and make sure if you're doing business in India specifically, your Aadhaar card and PAN card of your parents should be linked. Because all the modern day portals, like let's say if you're doing business with ShipRocket, if you're doing business with PayPal, if you're doing business with Stripe, or any other things, what they are doing is they are auto verifying your KYC details, which is know your customer details, just by sending OTP to the number linked with your Aadhaar card or PAN card. And you can just go to any nearby Aadhaar card or PAN card shop to do this. Okay, it's a very simple process, but get this done for your parents, and then use their identity to run. Because my agency, which is B for Branding Digital Agency, if you just and go to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and check out our past directors of the company, it's not me, it's Indu Singh, Simran Pal, and other member, which simply means that I have other people who were running the business and I was doing the work, but they were the legal owners. And when you turn 18, you can remove your parents if you want, or you can have a sharing model where you can do this. Okay, so that's running the business. Don't think much about the legalities. Initially, as a proprietor, you can start. What is a proprietor? Proprietor is basically a one person running the whole business. You can get your proprietorship verified by PayPal and Stripe, which means on your parents PAN card and Aadhaar card you get a account open, and then you can use it. If you're doing transaction volume worth more than 20 lakh, I would be suggesting you should be going with a company based setup, which means the directors and other things. If you want, I can make more videos on it, but just let me know in the comments if you want videos on this particular topic. Now, don't think much about the taxes part till when you're not crossing that 20 lakh rupees limit. Now 20 lakh, which means 20 lakh on revenue, not your profit. So be sure with that. If you need more videos on the taxation part, I'll be happy to make them out. But just to summarize this point, initially you can use your parents identity till when you're not 18. Once you cross 18s, you are eligible to be a director of a company, and then you can create a company and have directors and others things into that process itself. Last and the final point is you should be knowing the process of creating standard operating procedures, SOP. This is one thing which is very important as in service based business. You should be knowing how to work on standard operating processes. Just imagine, okay, this is just imagine, what if you are getting clients, you are getting the work done, somebody else comes and he needs to do the work at exactly similar pace. Like whatever you are doing, he should be able to do that. It can only happen either if he's with you every single day, he's learning from you, or in other case you have documented each and every step. Now documenting each and every step is what is called SOPs. For example, in my case, we have an SOP to do the outreach. In our case, we have a standard operating procedure for outreach. That is what I used to do. Now I have documented, which means step one is search for the industry. Step two, search for the prospects in that industry from LinkedIn, Facebook, and other places. Step three, get their emails. Step four, add all the emails and every single detail in our cold emailing marketing software, which is Snow. That's what we use. Step five, follow up with people who have opened our emails. Step six, get a meeting scheduled with them. Step seven, Devrat or other salesperson gets on the call. This is how we have drawn a step by step process. And this is one thing that can scale your service based business. I hope you like this video. Make sure to check out the links in the description. We are launching FavHire very soon. So make sure you join FavHire where we help you to train and get job internationally at the best rates. Also, you can join my free Facebook group. Link is in the description again. Check out my tool, sendmission.com, that I use to send email marketing, WhatsApp marketing, and pop-up marketing campaigns to my Shopify store visitors and people who are my customers of my Shopify store. Go ahead and check out all the links. I hope you like this video. Let me know in the comments your views on it. Thank you.